The conference room on the 43rd floor of Novogenics gleams with cold chrome and glass walls that catch the sterile glow of curated plants, their leaves too perfect to be real. I sit at the far end of the table not by choice, but by someone's careful orchestration. My usual seat, 4 chairs and close enough to the center to signal influence, has been claimed by a junior VP. I don't recognize his tie. Slightly askew, his presence an unwelcome intrusion. Victor Lang, our new CEO, strides in 5 minutes late, his custom suit as sharp as the smile he's practiced in front of mirrors. "Thank you all for coming," he says. His voice smooth, his eyes sliding past me like I'm already a ghost. "Let's get right to it." The air in the room thickens heavy with unspoken calculations. My fingertips graze the cream cardstock envelope placed in front of me, my name printed in stark Helvetica. It feels like a blade dressed in stationery. Victor surveys the room like a performer on opening night. Innovation demands speed, aggression, clarity. After discussions with the board, we've decided to realign leadership roles to reflect where Novogenics is headed, not where it's lingered. Across from me, someone shifts in their chair, the leather creaking. I hold my gaze steady, unblinking. "We're grateful for your foundational work." Victor says, his tone dripping with rehearsed sincerity. "But effective today, you'll transition from Chief Scientific Officer to Executive Advisor to the R&D division. It's a demotion wrapped in corporate silk, a public stripping of power." I peel open the envelope, the paper whispering under my touch. No title, no access, an 18% salary cut. Advisor is just a polite word for exile. The junior VP in my seat coughs a nervous sound, like he senses the weight of this moment and wants no part of it. Victor finally meets my eyes. "Lena, I know this is unexpected." "Actually," I cut in, folding the letter with a single precise crease. "I saw something like this coming." His smile twitches a crack in his polished facade. I scan the room, no board members, just second-tier executives, and department heads' faces carefully neutral. This was planned. Keep it quiet, keep it contained. "I've been here since the garage days," I say, my voice calm, but caring. "I built the foundation you're standing on, Victor. Every patent, every pipeline, every breakthrough." He chuckles light and dismissive. "And we honor that. But we need leadership that matches the market's tempo. This isn't academia anymore." "No," I reply, my tone. "Even it's a chessboard. And you just moved your queen too soon." He tilts his head amused, like I'm a puzzle he's already solved. "I take it you're not pleased." "Pleased isn't the word," I say, my words measured. "Let's be clear, this isn't about my performance. It's about optics. You think swapping me for someone louder, someone who shakes more hands, will dazzle investors? We're scaling," Victor says, his voice tightening. "We need forward-facing vision, aggression. You're too measured. And you're about to learn what happens when you prioritize speed over stability." I rise my chair, sliding silently across the polished floor. "Do you remember the licensing clause in the IP agreement?" He blinks, caught off guard. "The patents belong to Novogenics." Under a conditional license, I correct, my voice cutting through the room's tension. "Co-owned with Dr. Noah Reyes. You know him, he built the XR7 delivery model alongside me. Clause 7.3 states the license holds only under direct founder oversight in all commercial applications. Oversight you've just removed." His jaw tightens, but he recovers fast. "We'll have legal review it." "Please do," I say, slipping the folded letter into my leather bag, its weight a quiet promise. "But you might want to do it before you pitch new R&D roadmaps to investors. They'll want to know the patents are clean." I walk out before he can respond, the glass door closing with a soft click behind me. Heat rises in my chest. Not anger, not fear, but focus, sharp and unyielding. In the hallway, my phone buzzes. A message from a contact in regulatory affairs. "Victor's pushing your project under his new guy. Big presentation next week." I stare at the screen, the words glowing in the dim corridor. My demotion is already being spun as a strategic pivot. Let Victor think he's running the show. I wrote the playbook, and he's just lit a match beneath it. I sit at my kitchen table, the silence of the evening broken only by the faint hum of the refrigerator. A mug of coffee sits untouched, its surface cold and still reflecting the glow of my laptop screen. The shared folder is open, labeled simply, Licensing Agreement, XR7, IP Set AC. I've read this document 100 times, its clauses etched into my memory. Like a map I always knew I'd need. Tonight I read it differently, not as a safeguard, but as a weapon, its words sharp and ready. Clause 7.3 stares back at me, black text on a white screen. All commercial rights granted herein are contingent upon continuous founder-led oversight of implementation and R&D strategy. Any removal, reassignment, or dilution of said oversight without written amendment shall trigger automatic review and potential license termination within 30 days. My finger hovers over the paragraph, the cursor blinking like a heartbeat. Victor didn't just demote me, he destabilized the very foundation of Novogenics's technology. The XR7 platform, Omega Cell, the AI pathology pipeline. All of them rest on the patents Noah and I licensed to the company. Without our oversight, the legal ground beneath Victor's ambitions crumbles. Noah and me, we built this. I scroll to the signatory page, the screen casting a pale light across the table. 2 names in blue ink, mine and Dr. Noah Reyes, dated 5 years ago, notarized in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I can still smell the dust of that tiny office. Hear the hum of our busted espresso machine, taste the lentil soup we kept in the freezer, during those early days when the company was just 6 dreamers in a garage. My hand moves to my phone, the motion automatic. I find Noah's name and press call. Lena, his voice comes through on the second ring, groggy, probably still early in Arizona. Do you remember the failsafe we built into the agreement? I ask, my voice steady despite the hour. He pauses, then exhales the sound, carrying a faint smile. Clause 7.3. It just got triggered. Victor? He asks, already knowing the answer. He demoted me yesterday. Stripped all oversight. A beat of silence, then his calm voice. They really think the patents are theirs now. They don't even remember the clause exists, I say. A trace of satisfaction creeping into my tone. Noah chuckles low and familiar. Damn, we wrote that thing in your dad's basement. You were so sure we'd need it someday. And we do, I reply. My eyes fixed on the screen. Want me to pull the master docs? I've got them, I say. But I need you to prep for something bigger. We may have to file an intent to revoke. Another pause, longer this time. You ready for that kind of fight? I didn't pick it, I say, my voice firm. But I'm the one who remembers the rules. I close the file, the laptop screen dimming. The contract has been my shield for years, a quiet assurance in the chaos of growth. Now it's my blade honed and ready to cut through Victor's overconfidence. I meet Tess and Eva in a corner booth at a nearly empty Thai cafe 3 blocks from Novogenics, but a world away. No glass walls, no keycards, just chili oil and laminated menus, unchanged for years. Tess, my former assistant, sits across from me with a beat-up laptop, looking like she hasn't slept. Eva, HR analyst, sharp-eyed and soft-vo. Iced sips tea like it's armor. You sure this place is secure? Tess asks. I come here when I need to disappear, I reply. They don't ask questions. Tess flips open her laptop. I pulled the original project timelines from your tenure. Victor's rewriting them to make it look like Darren. She rolls her eyes, did all the heavy lifting on Omega Cell. Eva slides a manila folder toward me. These are performance reviews. I wasn't supposed to see them, but I did. Her tone is quiet but cutting. Women flagged as too quiet, too cautious, lacking presence. Men with identical profiles, strategic and thoughtful. My jaw tightens. He's building a paper trail to justify the talent exodus. And he's purging anyone who doesn't mirror him, Eva adds. Mostly women, mostly introverts. Tess scrolls to internal memos. This one's the worst. Victor forwarded a board summary crediting you for XR7, then revised the investor version to claim it was his strategic pivot. I don't speak for a long moment. Then I look up, eyes clear. I need copies of everything. Chain of custody intact. If we move on this, it has to be bulletproof. I'm with you, Tess says. Same, Eva nods. But if we do this, we don't get to go back to quiet jobs. I smile, my first real one in days. Then let's make sure it's loud enough to matter. My badge reads, Ellen Park Contract Research Consultant, Horizon Therapeutics. It's my middle name, real enough. The title vague and forgettable by design. The Horizon Lab smells of coffee bleach and fluorescent exhaustion. A mid-sized biotech firm on the edge of a pivot, ambitious but teetering. The kind of place Helix Group acquires. The kind of place Victor Lang would ruin. Helix finalized the acquisition 6 weeks ago, folding Horizon into our portfolio. As managing director, I signed every term sheet, but no one here knows that. Not yet. I work quietly running viability tests and shadowing meetings as a contract worker. Most people barely notice me, except Owen Barrett. Owen, the new director of innovation, struts through Horizon's halls like he's auditioning for a TED Talk. Loud, polished, magnetic in the way of people who mistake confidence for competence. In Monday's team sync, he cuts off a junior researcher mid-sentence. Less overthinking, more doing, he says, slapping the table. In Wednesday's stakeholder presentation, he takes credit for a pipeline I developed when I advised Horizon pre-acquisition. On Friday in the break room, I overhear him tell interns that soft-spoken types rarely last in high-pressure R&D. You either lead loud or get left behind. It's Victor all over again, different building, same disease. I keep my voice low, my observations sharp. Every offhand comment, every stolen credit, every biased evaluation goes into my private log. Power doesn't always wear a title. Sometimes it wears silence. I've mastered both. By week's end, I have proof of cultural rot and performance decline, masked by showmanship. On Sunday night, I draft a memo. Subject immediate review, Horizon Creative Leadership, from E. Park MD, Helix Group. My signature is small, but it carries weight. It's time to remind them who owns the building. I stand at the head of Horizon's conference room as staff file in, murmuring, confused by the unscheduled meeting. No agenda, just a message, all hands. 9:00 a.m., mandatory. Owen Barrett swaggers in last, adjusting his cufflinks, joking. Someone getting promoted today? He drops into a chair near the front. He doesn't notice me until I step forward. No lab coat today. I wear a tailored navy suit, understated but commanding. Behind me stand Martin Yu from Helix Legal and Clara Hayes from Strategy, names they don't know. Yet. I clear my throat. Good morning. For those who know me as Ellen, let me reintroduce myself. I'm Dr. Lena Park, Managing Director of Helix Group, Horizon's parent company. A sharp breath sweeps the room. Owen freezes. For 6 weeks I've worked here undercover, not to deceive but to observe how leadership culture aligns with our values. I tap a remote. A graph appears. Employee turnover. Last 12 months. % client retention, Q2, 31%. Internal promotion rate, %. These numbers aren't just disappointing, they're dangerous. More slides, anonymous feedback. Exit interviews, project credit shifts. Leadership here values loud voices over capable ones. Owen's face pales. This pattern isn't new, I continue. But it ends today. I turn to Owen. Effective immediately, you're relieved of your position. Your severance will be honored. Security will escort you shortly. Gasps. Owen stands. You can't. This is my department. No, I interrupt. It's my company. He opens his mouth, but I've already turned to Eva. Brooks brought in this morning, sitting quietly in the corner. Eva, you've shown insight, integrity, and leadership. You're promoted to head of people and strategy, effective immediately. A stunned beat. Then applause. I look at the room. This company's value isn't volume, it's vision. It's time we remembered that. It starts with a whisper. A client call rescheduled. A shift in tone from Argenx Biotech's chief liaison. Then an email cold curt. Subject: request for immediate clarification on leadership transition. By the time I read it, it's been forwarded twice within Argenx's chain of command. I don't need to guess the source. Victor Lang has been busy warning Helix clients I'm under internal review, claiming the Horizon shakeup shows erratic leadership, suggesting Helix is collapsing. He speaks with just enough deniability to skirt legal trouble for now. Pure retaliation. He can't stop me directly, so he whispers in the right ears. Argenx is 18% of Helix's biotech partnerships. Their public withdrawal would ripple through our portfolio and shake investor confidence. A meeting is set in under 24 hours. I'll face Argenx's senior team in Seattle, alone. You want me in the room? Martin asks, brows furrowed. No, I say. If Victor's casting doubt on my stability, I need to face it myself. That evening, I stand by my office window watching twilight settle over the city. Lights flicker on across biotech campuses I helped fund, helped shape. My name isn't on most, but my work is in their bones. Victor thinks he can turn my restraint into weakness. He forgets who I was before the suits, before the title. I reach for the slim folder on my desk, performance metrics, leadership briefs, client retention data, and slide it into my bag. Let him play his games. Tomorrow I'll bring facts. And I'll let Argenix decide who's truly unstable. I sit in Argenix's brushed steel and glass conference room, overlooking the sound. 4 executives face me, arms folded, eyes wary. Dr. Rina Malik, head of strategy, taps her pen on her notepad, not looking up. We've appreciated our partnership with Helix, says CFO. Alan Marks, voice diplomatic. But recent leadership changes, particularly the public firing at Horizon, raise questions. Victor Lang's concerns were not without detail. I nod once. I understand. You're hearing 2 versions of the same story. Let's look at what the numbers say. I slide a folder across the table and connect my tablet to the projector. Slide by slide, I dismantle Victor's narrative, his bloated projections, overpromised timelines, budgets masking burn rates as scaling investments. Then my numbers, clean, documented, conservative. I show Horizon's turnaround staff, retention up 15% in 4 weeks. Client campaign success doubling after the leadership shift. I explain how my restructuring prioritizes interdisciplinary collaboration and ethical trial pacing. This isn't just about optics, I say. It's about who owns the long game. Rina finally looks up. Victor claims Helix is falling behind on market capture. He confuses noise with progress, I reply. We're not racing to be first. We're building to last. Trials with integrity. Partnerships built on transparency. Innovations that don't collapse under scrutiny. Silence. Then Rina leans forward. You designed the accelerator protocol used in Nova's pediatric immunotherapy trials. I did, I say, meeting her eyes. That protocol saved my niece's life. The room stills. Rina turns to the others. I recommend we not only remain in partnership with Helix, but expand our involvement in their next phase accelerator. I blink, caught off guard. Alan nods. Agreed. We'll draft terms for deeper investment. When the meeting ends, Rina lingers. Victor plays to win. You play to build, she says quietly. We've had enough winners. We need builders. I don't smile until I'm in the elevator. But when I do, it reaches my eyes. Eva places a stack of printouts on my desk with a sigh. These were never submitted to HR records. I found them in a locked archive. Password was Victory 2023. Subtle. I glance at the exit interviews. 10 women, all rated underperforming. Each cites the same issues: leadership dismissing quieter voices, subtle retaliation for feedback, credit reassigned behind closed doors. I flip through one marked confidential. I loved the science. I hated that I disappeared in meetings. Another. When I asked why my name was removed from the grant proposal, I was told it was easier to keep things streamlined. I exhale slowly. They were pushed out so the story could be cleaner, so Victor could stay the center. Jordan Hall, Helix's legal counsel, steps in with his laptop. We're ready to draft new protocols. A performance evaluation framework tied to measurable outcomes, not personality traits. Eva nods. We also need a new grievance channel, anonymous, encrypted, with oversight beyond the chain of command. Let's call it what it is, I say. Cultural reset. One that rewards substance, not show. For 2 hours, we map it out: promotion pathways, based on contribution, transparent R&D credit policies, leadership training to ensure Victor's shadow doesn't linger under another name. By dusk, our draft policy spans 20 pages, a new foundation, methodical and clear. At Horizon's end-of-day wrap-up, I stand by the coffee station watching the floor buzz with quiet confidence. People linger, talk, laugh, not nervously but fully. Change isn't a storm this time. It's soil, steady, planted, ready for something better to grow. The courtroom is smaller than I expected. No grand oak panels, just cold fluorescent bulbs and the murmur of corporate warfare. Victor sits across the aisle, flanked by 3 attorneys in navy suits. His smirk, his sighs, his head shakes. It's all theater, as if he's bored. I don't look at him. My attorney, Michael Yoon, stands calmly. Your Honor. He begins. The plaintiff claims I breached intellectual property agreements. The documentation tells another story. He clicks the remote. Slide 1, the licensing agreement I signed with Noah, the founder-led oversight clause in bold. Slide 2. Victor's memo approving my removal without legal consultation. Slide 3, his email. Let's make her disappear, planning to rebrand my pipeline as Langcell. Victor shifts. His attorney objects, but the judge allows it. Noah takes the stand steady, confirming the clause's origin and how Victor's actions triggered review. Mr. Lang assumed the clause was symbolic, Noah says. It wasn't. We wrote it for this. After 2 hours, the judge leans forward. This court finds the license valid and under the control of the original signatories. Dr. Park's removal constitutes a breach by the plaintiff. Case dismissed. Victor stands too fast, knocking over a glass. His attorney whispers, but he's already leaving. I gather my papers, pulse steady. I didn't need to outshout him. He wrote his own downfall in ink and email. I stand in the Helix Consortium's new Seattle headquarters, ignoring the shimmering skyline. My focus is on a small group of researchers pitching an Alzheimer's delivery breakthrough. They're not loud. They don't pace. They don't sell. They explain. Clear, grounded, smart. I smile slightly. Half this team worked under Victor. Now they're thriving. My inbox pings. Another journal request. Leadership in the Quiet Lane. How Dr. Lena Park redefined influence. I ignore it. My style is dissected in boardrooms and MBA classrooms. Introverted vision, exponential impact. But I don't want to be a figurehead. My success isn't about personality. It's about making space for the overlooked. Across town, Victor's startup podcast, Disruption DNA, flounders. His sponsor pulled out. 2 reviews, one calling it all flash, no substance. I stand as the team finishes. No standing ovation, no headline quote. Just a nod. Good work, I say. And with that, I pass the spotlight quietly, deliberately to the future. I hold the creased manila folder lightly, standing before 50 young women in lab coats and sneakers, their notebooks open, eyes wide with curiosity, in a high school auditorium. I brought something, I say, lifting the demotion letter. This was the moment someone tried to end my career, told me I wasn't executive material, that I should be grateful to be in the room. I let the silence stretch. But what he didn't know, I continue, was that I'd written the rules long before he tried to erase me. He took my title. I took my voice back. A hand rises from the front. Were you scared? I smile. Of course. But I was more scared of what would happen if I stayed silent. I look at the next generation, brilliant, hungry, unshaped by cynicism. My father used to tell me, let them underestimate you, then let your work speak. The girls scribble notes that aren't about formulas. I fold the letter. He demoted me to silence. I turned it into strategy. And the system listened.